Hi and welcome to the Art of Tarot. My name is Stephanie and this is a reading for the Capricorn birth year, which started in December 2020 and is continuing through 2021. This is mainly for Capricorn Sun, but can also be accurate for Capricorn Ascendant, Moon, Venus and Mars. So this is a birthday reading, as I call it, and it's a little bit more in depth. I did do this reading in German already, so if you are a German speaker, you can also follow my German channel. You find the link in the description box below, and I will do a varied version of the German reading. I will go into general energies of these cards in English here, and then I will do an additional you and the other person love interest reading at the second part. In the second part of the reading, you will find a timestamp for that also in the description box if you want to skip directly to the you and the other person part. This is a little bit of a deeper reading where we really look karmically what kind of topics will be important for this new cycle, for this new birth year for you Capricorn. And I'm using couple of different decks. I'm using the Mother Peace Tarot. I'm also using the Rider-Waite deck a little later, and those Astrology Oracle of the Radiant Sun cards. But I link everything in the description box below. Also, all the information you need for my services and what you want to know about this channel, you probably find in the description box. So let's get started. Dear Capricorns. Wow, yes, this year for you, your birth year, starts with Saturn finally being out of your sign, and I feel like it might be a relief, but also some sort of readjustment, especially when it comes to the way you see things, you perceive things, you understand things, and also in a way you want to manifest things. We have the Magician here in the now. A lot of cards came out, as you see. This is supposed to be a Celtic cross, but you see how many cards came out here for you. It's a very in-depth look at the situation really and where you're going. The Magician really talks about how you want to manifest things, how you want to bring into the realm of yourself, of your surroundings, how you want to build, how you want to create. It's a very creative card. With the Magician, you have all the tools that you need to really make things happen. For me, it's very much like a just do it card. And obviously, it also with the number 1 in the Major Arcana, it does start a new cycle. So you as the Magician, you're starting a new cycle. It's also standing for Mercury, which is about communication, which is about ideas. What comes through strongly here? First of all, there's a lot of Major Arcana. We have a Devil card in reverse, we have the Empress, we have the Strength card, we have the Magician. There is a new way, I think, of understanding how to create a healthy product and healthy results, because still this year I think will be a lot about earthy energy, a lot about creation, a lot about results, but in a way that you're not so much dependent in a codependency sort of way on others, and you're not so much dependent on a certain product, on a certain way that things have to look like. With the Devil in reverse, I just see that you're really moving away from people that bind you, circumstances that bind you, also from a false sense of trying to control circumstances, to control surroundings, and being controlled also by surroundings. So with the Three of Swords in the past, in combination with the Devil in reverse, I think that you made a head over heart decision here and walked into a new way, a new self, a new creative self. And there's really this sense of renewal, that you now want to do things differently, and you really want to learn how to do things differently, and therefore also cut through all these ties that bind you. May it be addictions, may it be really codependency on other people, also worldly pleasures that take control of you, you know, like everything that is substance related, toxic substances, also the internet, you know. Although with the devil, I also said that in the German reading, I don't see so much the internet, because the internet is more like a air realm for me and not so much an earthly thing, but it still produces very earthly, bodily hormones and functions that make us addicted to certain things. So maybe there's also a topic there. I just bring it up when the devil comes up, because these days more than ever it is a very present problematic. But cutting, I think you already did cut through environments that were not necessarily lifting you up. And maybe that has been difficult because the heart was still in there, and there is some heartbreak with it involved. That's the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords in this deck is very much about, I feel like, environments you have to get yourself out of, because they also are harmful to you, and very psychologically harmful in a way. And I feel like that's where you're going out of. And there is this element for you of definitely of emotional heaviness that comes with that. And a Capricorn thing to do is very much like suppress that into the unconscious. And I feel like that is here something for you to consider, and to be open to the idea to really tap also into these uncomfortable feelings that are a little deeper underneath the surface. Because I feel like, yes, there is this decision to go this new path, to go this new way, to cut off the things that are not helping you anymore to move forward, that are really tying you down. Also the parts within yourself that are tying you down. Don't forget that Capricorn is also the sign that relates to the devil card in the tarot. So there is a part of you that is very much about results, control, consistency, and intensity, that things have to be a certain way, that things have to be in a way also hard, maybe even, that life is not a picnic. That's kind of a Capricornish idea, you know. But if you get tied too much to that idea of everything has to be hard, that it's worth something, then there is no lightness in creation whatsoever. I see though that you're stepping into that with the Empress. She is exactly about the lightness of creation, about the flow of creation, about the pleasure of creation. And she's also still very earthy. It really is about results and building something. And she is Mother Earth. I mean, she represents Mother Earth in a way, because she is the archetypal and divine feminine energy that brings creation and product and life to Earth. So these cards, I'm still holding them up because they are just really important, first of all, to look at, and second of all, to understand. Four of Cups, Five of Cups in your subconscious. It is a very logical step from the 4 into the 5, obviously. The 4 is some sort of often false security, so we have to be careful with that, but also it is stability. It can't just not, the thing with stability is that a stability, especially emotionally, is not something that can stay, because emotions work like the tide, you know. It's like there's a different spectrum of emotions and we go through them, and we cannot control, we cannot hold on to a certain feeling. It's just not possible. We feel them, And we can hold on to pain, but also you can only hold on for so long. I think now it's much more about stepping into a certain pain and allowing that to happen, not holding on to the Four of Cups, which is more like a, well, I'm in this energy of not receiving what's coming towards me, not wanting to receive what's coming towards me because I don't need it or it's not for me, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I think the Four of Cups and saying no to things handed to you emotionally because you don't feel like accepting them, I don't think that's a bad thing. I just think that logically out of that attitude, now it's important to look at why you're not willing to accept and what still needs to be resolved and worked at, and a little felt, like what needs to be felt so you can open yourself up again to trust, because that's the Five of Cups. Really, before the Six of Cups, you're going through the Five of Cups that is helping you to experience also the disappointments emotionally, but at the same time, therefore, really getting a deeper understanding intuitively of those disappointments and where they're coming from, so you can step into a new sense of trust that prepares you better for not stepping into this disappointment again, you know. So you have to go through the disappointment to be able to let it go and to not make the same mistake again. And that is a little, or mistake, there is no mistake, the same experience. It's a cyclical thing, I think, here, and I just have a feeling this is going to be the challenge for you. Stepping in, also letting the negative come up and being open to feeling, not trying to shut it down when you're feeling bad, you know, out of some sense of I need to create productivity or beauty or whatever. It can coexist. It is okay if it coexists. Especially with the Empress here, you are stepping into a super creative energy where you really are able to create the beauty and the life and the circumstances and the surroundings that you wish for yourself. It's a very pleasurable card. It looks like a lot of pleasure here. Sensuality. Empress is about Venus, is about beauty, is about creation. She's also the Mother Earth. She's the divine feminine. She really only lets in the things. She draws things in, first of all, and people, and only lets those in who she thinks will add to her creation process. So she is the selector. She is Mother Nature. She selects what can live and what can die, really, when it comes to the point. And she is beauty, she is compassion, she is strength at the same time. She still has boundaries. So it's not so much she is open, but at the same time experienced. She is strong, and she is also strength, and we have the strength card here. So it doesn't matter if you're female or male, this is really using your surroundings, and I mean using in the best possible way to create a feeling of, or an environment that you can enjoy and that you can feel comfortable in and that you can feel pleasure in, and where there is still a lot of passion, because it has to do with the strength card in reverse. It has to do with the strength card in reverse, where there is the question of balancing out those passionate, forward, sexual, more animalistic energies, and at the same time staying grounded and within yourself, which is the Empress. She also stands for Taurus or Libra, if that's something that helps you or says something to you. So out of, I feel like, being dependent on others in a unhealthy way into letting people in to your cycle, into your world in a healthy way. Picking, selecting, being very meticulous about it, and also really create a picture of beauty, of I see relaxation, I hear relaxation, of still creativity, of nurturing the self, also of sexuality. I think this is a very sensual, sexual card. It's soft, it's feminine, it's sensual, it's beautiful, it's sexual. It's really also, it's she's the Empress, you know. It's also divine in a sense, and it is strong and still dominant. She has a lot of power in this, and this was a big thing that came through in the German reading, in the relaxation, or in the there's a saying in German, there's probably a saying in English too: in quietness there is strength, or in stillness there is strength. So doing things slow, steady, and quiet, and it's not necessarily stillness, that's the wrong word, but steady and slow and quiet, and not agitated or nervous, but calm. In calmness, that's probably the right word. In calmness, there is a lot of strength. And this is what I see with her. She's not getting upset by things anymore. And I feel like that has been something in the past. Just make sure that you're not completely disregarding your disappointments from the past and just like shoving it down, because that's just dangerous. You know, it will bite you in the ass later. I promise. And especially Capricorn, because then it just comes in an intensity that you guys are like, okay, let's let that intensity, I can carry it, but it can make you so very tired and so very exhausted. And we have that here, you know, the very exhaustion of how much can I carry with the 10 of Wands, and how can I stay strong next to that. And that's a very, very big theme here, because that's the key cards for you. With the Daughter of Swords, we do have opening when it comes to ideas, when it comes to new consciousness, higher consciousness, very fresh new way of seeing the truth, seeing things in the world, a very young energy, very curious energy, being curious to learn, being curious to open yourself up mentally, which I find wonderful. It has a little bit of a rebellious also energy within it, and that's great, you know, really opening yourself up for this age of Aquarius, also saying like, yes, I'm open to new ideas, I'm open to these new concepts, I'm curious about these new concepts and how they can inspire me, because she gets very much inspired here, and the horse always represents for me like a forward strength, passion, freedom. So she does get inspired by new ideas with the Princess of Swords, and she really wants to understand and to learn. Also, we have the Ace of Swords here in how you see yourself. So yes, you see yourself as the holder of a new truth, of a new consciousness, of a new understanding. With that comes transformation also here with the butterfly. And if you want to do yoga right now, that's a great thing, because this woman here is in a yoga pose. If you can see that, I don't know, isn't focusing here. So yes, stepping also, what does it mean to step into a new, how do you see, what is your truth right now when it comes to stepping into your independence, working consistently on your worth, staying there, staying grounded, staying secure within the Nine of Pentacles here and with the Son of Pentacles. This is exactly the energy of doing things slowly and steadily, as I said. Doing things in a calm manner, not rushing, not getting lost in excitements that are distracting, not getting lost in things that start controlling you, or people that start controlling you, or passions that start controlling you. Which I don't see is so much of a thing. It's more like an integration of all these sorts, and also an integration of that passionate element in a more healthy way, like not wanting all the things at the same time and having to carry this energy, you know, with you. Because the key card here really says that you're learning to really find the right distance to that very over-exaggerated ego here with the Ten of Wands, because the Ten of Wands is a card of being overworked, doing too much, doing everything at the same time, being maybe even burnt out. And that has a lot to do with ego, because even when we take on a lot of responsibility, then we make ourselves over-responsible. If we cannot carry it anymore, and that's the ego saying like, no, I have to do all the things, I have to do all the things, because I'm the only person who can do it. That's very ego-oriented, and it's not a bad thing that you want to do things. Just make sure that you don't want to do all the things, or all the people, or all the women, or all the men, you know. It's very much like desiring all the things, all the people, all the outcome. It's just gonna make you overwork yourself, and it's gonna be too much. As easy as that. That's a 10 of Wands here, and it's a very primitive energy. It's a very primordial energy. It's a very low energy, as they would say in the tarot, or in the mystical language. So what is more sophisticated here is the shaman, sorry, shaman of discs, that is the King of Pentacles, who really creates on this earth for himself a very grounded existence. With the Empress here, we have another very similar energy, because they're both standing for earth signs like Taurus, but also Capricorn. So this is very much you, and it's about maturity when it comes to creation that has substance, that is not just like a fast flingy energy, but it has substance and can go a long way. And therefore being able to hold this, it will be a part of you, I think. Intuitively, you will always tend to go towards the over-responsible thing to do. You know, I'm taking all the responsibility. It's just very Capricorn idea, but it comes with the idea of having to control things. Because Capricorn, as I said, is also the devil. So, and Capricorn is the goat. You know, it's like going up to the mountain until that's where they live. They live in difficult conditions. That's what they master. If you look at a baby goat, what they're doing to play, it's crazy. They jump around on they jump on the tiniest little things and they balance it. You know, they master really difficult circumstances. But they are very worldly. That's all circumstances. That's just, it has nothing to do with, or not much to do with the inner realm, you know. It has to do with what you can see, touch, smell, taste, and sense with your five senses, not with your sixth sense. So therefore, Capricorn really has to be careful that they don't overtake responsibility. And I think this is what you've learned in the last 3 years and what Saturn forced you to learn. And now you can really go with that and move forward with that. And again, stay in that energy of mastery of the worldly realm. You are the master of the worldly realm. That's why Capricorn is the manifestor. That's why the whole Illuminati thing with devil worshippers and stuff is a thing, because that's the people who make the most money, and they have their, I mean, that's what people say. At least that's the myth, you know, because it is about result and product and materialism and what I can manifest and materialize. It's about endless growth, and it shouldn't be about endless growth. It should be about endless abundance, much more. And that's the Empress. She's not giving up her well-being just to enforce everything she wants, you know. And that's, I think, very much the balancing act here. It's so interesting to me that in this particular deck we have a Five of Swords that builds a pentacle. It's so fascinating and intriguing to me, because the swords have nothing to do with the pentacle realm in a way, but at the same time the pentacle realm is the earth energy, is the Capricorn energy. They build the spirit realm here, or the manifestation realm here with the pentacles. So and it's also the pentacle in reverse, which is the toxic outgrowth of what I was just saying, of the idea that matter over spirit, you know, like only matter matters, only what I can see, only product, only penetrating every market, every chance I get that I can make more material stuff, you know. And that's a very, very brutal energy, really, because a lot of things have to be cut out therefore. And this is, I think, what you need to be careful right now, because the brutal energy, what needs to be cut out, that's the Five of Swords. Being very ruthless with decisions, and it's my way or the highway. I think here it really comes to your emotions and having this sense of having to cut something out really intensely when it comes to feeling, but you cannot just cut out every feeling. It's just not possible. You can try it, but it will come back. And the more often you do it, you're only hurting yourself. You're cutting yourself, you know. You're not allowing yourself to feel. That's not nice. That people have feelings. So be nice to yourself. It's not, you don't have to see this as a big working task. I think with the Eight of Pentacles, you don't have to make it a project. You don't have to make it a job. You don't have to make it this, well, I'm going to work on that. It's just going to happen. Let it happen, you know. Let things come to you, let feelings come to you, let situations come to you more this upcoming year, and select at the right time, act at the right time. That's the Empress as well. Because this is not about working hard and doing labor when it comes to this problem. It's not about that. And also with the Shaman of Discs, I think it is about the maturity in having rest at the right time also. That's also Taurus very much, you know, being able to, because that's a little bit the difference between Capricorn and Taurus. Taurus, Capricorn is better at being very disciplined, just right at when it's needed. You know, it's like, okay, now I'm gonna act and I'm gonna do what needs to be done. Taurus is better Taurus is good at discipline when they're in a thing, you know, but it's a little harder for them to get moving, but they are therefore also better at giving themselves rest and credit for what they've worked for. And this is something that Capricorn can really now master, I think. You have a lot of energies here coming towards you that are very fiery, exciting, young, fresh, new, because you, I mean, obviously with the Empress, you will be very attractive. That's a very, very attractive energy. It distracts moths like light, you know. So be careful about the moths. It attracts a lot of, let's say, creatures that you might not want to let in, even though I don't see so much any bad energy here with the Daughter of Wands. It's more like a very, there might be people rushing in who are gonna be like, well, let's do this now and let's go and bring this excitement. And I don't think that excitement is necessarily a bad thing. Just make sure that you don't let them, don't get bothered, you know, don't let anybody in the next year, and I think the whole year for Capricorn is like, don't let anybody F with your peace and with the beauty you've created for yourself. And you're in the process of creating, but you're already there. People can come in and be fun, you know, but don't let them mess with that peace. Venus is peace, and the Empress is Venus. So the fear here that comes through is not being able to fully control your emotions, not being able to tap into your emotions, maybe also with the Shaman of Cups, not being able to master your emotional realm. Well, of course, that's the fear, because that comes through very much. There is a fear of also things just overcoming you, emotions just overcoming you. Well, that's what happens if you don't let them come up. They will come up eventually, you know, or they will really manifest, in my opinion. I know that's a very controversial opinion, but in a lot of times it can manifest as a health issue. So don't let that happen. You're very much if you feel like your body is not feeling right, which an earth sign is really, really good at, then tap into your emotions. Try it. Don't see it as this crazy work project. I have to do this now. Every day I have to meditate for 10 hours. No, you don't. When something feels weird, then try to tap into your emotions. And mastering is a process. I mean, you are the sign who knows that the best. It's practice, you know. Nothing comes just from, it's not just gonna be handed to you. But practice takes time. It's not that you always have to initiate it. You know, it can just, there is a moment where you intuitively, and that already is start of the practice, intuitively feel like, what's going on? What's actually going on? Maybe you can figure it out, maybe not. If not, move on, you know, but don't just dismiss it or disregard it as not being important, because it is important in this moment to be looked at. Maybe it's like a little thing that you, or maybe it's a big thing you're not feeling like you can look at right now, which is also fine, you know. But don't just dismiss your emotions. Don't do it as something not real, because it's not true. They are very real. It's a misconception that they are not real. Just what they mean, it might be something different than you thought. And that's only something that you can learn by getting to know them better and that whole reality better. So yeah, you and the other person, real quick. 7 of, oh wow, okay, yeah. We have, wow, okay. We have the Devil in reverse. We have the Three of Swords here. We have the Seven of Swords. Well, I see very much like there was a lot of toxic energy here that you are moving away from. I think it is with that person. It's very much like a player energy here. There is a lot of passion. There is some sort of clarity that comes in here, but at the same time, there's a lot of subconscious manipulation. The whole subconscious, I don't know if you're dealing with a Capricorn or an Earth sign, can very well be. The whole subconscious realm here is Swords. You are just mad, cold and mad and cutting off things. You don't trust this, and therefore I think you don't trust the passion of it, which is good. I think there is no real bad intention when it comes to the passionate energy, and it's not fake, it's very real. But this fight cannot be fought with, even though subconsciously you both try that, and therefore there is constantly this manipulative energy that you're sensing that is not necessarily spoken out. But this person, honestly, seems like the worst. I mean, right now, you know, it's like it's a Knight of Wands and Page of Swords in reverse. That's not very healthy. They are not showing themselves definitely from their best side. They seem like they're stalking you, or they're not saying things, or they're holding back. Therefore, you have been holding back in the future. You will be holding back in the future, maybe again, but you have been holding back in the past. Maybe also being a little dishonest about a decision to yourself. Then finally making that decision, understanding there's no trust, really. There's no trust for you. I think that's what you're realizing. That's what you haven't realized in the past. There's no trust. I think you both now have the energy and the strength to move towards clarity, to move towards positive outcome. This person is very insecure, control issues, has probably a bad father. There probably is no father figure. Steps into the Queen of Swords, which is not necessarily doing the wrong thing. It's very much doing the right thing, but for the wrong reasons maybe. The Hanged Man here is stepping out of something. They're stepping out of something that feels like confinement, but there is so much manipulative energy, you guys. Don't do it, man. Yeah, and a huge conflict. There is, I think, stability coming for you, feeling grounded and feeling strong enough to move forward with this in whatever direction. But I don't see that it's not healthy. If you want to move forward with this, well, I cannot make you not, you know, but it looks very, very unhealthy to me. This other person has all the issues that you don't want to deal with. You have therefore no trust whatsoever. You don't feel safe with this person. It's a lot of work here. It is a lot of focus to really concentrate on the positive here. Well, I see there's a possibility if you really, really work hard on this, both of you, and take that passion with you. But you know, there's hardly any cups here. There's no cups from the other person. The Don't make this person your project, even though I see you're doing it. You're already doing it, Capricorn. Capricorn, why? Why do you always have to make everything a project? See, there's no trust, you know. I think there will be a moment of revelation for both of you that will kind of feel like, oh, now I know how we're moving forward for both of you. It's a karmic thing, and karmic cycle will be completed. I will show... I will look at some astrology cards. Versatility. Okay, stay with Gemini here, Sun in Gemini, 5th house. Stay playful, stay open. Also be open to communication. Yes, be open to communication, but understand that it really needs a lot of focus to stay on the positive here, and also to really figure out what this person is all about, because I feel like you might, out of maybe old experiences that have to do with codependency, you're still drawn to this, but you don't trust it. So you can only start understanding this person better by communication. In communication, you will find the truth. Manipulation. Well, I tell you, don't let them manipulate you. Don't you manipulate them. It's not healthy, you guys. Come on, I can't twist this around. I mean, this manipulation card came through, but I still think you will, through communication, learn more about that. Because if it's that kind of situation where if you don't go in the communication, you will not be able to resolve it for yourself, to let it go. So you will learn about the person, and that they're full of shit. I'm sorry, they are. They really are. Damn. Vision. Well, Pisces, they're a dreamy person. I'm not surprised. Maybe it's a Pisces turned sour. That's my Pisces card turns like that. It very much looks like a Pisces knowing exactly what's right for them and doing everything the opposite way. That's a very Pisces thing to do often. So yeah, you know, it looks very exhausting. Why would you let them fuck with your stability just because it's very tempting to, you know? Don't do it. Don't do it. There's no point in trying to get this under control. You will not win anything out of it by feeling in control. You won't. Or by feeling like you can control this person or can make it your project. There will be no satisfaction in that for you, I promise. It's just gonna bring up old hurt again. All right, Capricorn, this was your birthday reading. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being patient. And yeah, tune in for the next reading. I hope you stick around. Thank you, and leave me a comment, subscribe, like, and all the best. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.